we're back on Hot 20. It's CA with LA, Cody Allen, Lauren Alaina, brand new EP out. It's called Getting Over Him. You released an EP back in March at the beginning of all this craziness. So
Getting Good.
Yes, of Getting Good, now Getting Over Him. So
what's the album gonna be?
Who knows? I do like the sassiness you're bringing here. Is there a little bit of like healing and moving forward with confidence kind of feel to these songs?
Woo, well, I went through a very public breakup last year, and it was right before I went on Dancing with the Stars. It was not the best timing, you know, not really what you want before you go on national television. And I never spoke about it because it's hard to know how to talk about personal things very publicly. Yeah. So I just kind of never addressed it. And this EP is my response.
Living life like it's LA, and we're all stuck in jail, like a preacher on a Sunday, always going overtime.
I was really intentional about covering all of the emotions I felt. You know, I eventually landed on Run, which feels very representative of where I am now. It's just about we're all moving forward and trying to get where we're going, and things happen, and we can't let them define us. And, you know, as an artist, I've always used my music to empower people. And I said, I don't know how I wrote a breakup EP that feels empowering, but I feel so empowered when I sing these songs because my Road Less Traveled was all about loving myself, learning to love yourself. And this EP feels like learning to love yourself when someone else doesn't, and still being empowered and not letting them define you. So very excited.
You've done, of course, some collaborations over the years. Kane Brown, probably the biggest of all, but also Rascal Flatts, Chris Young, Dustin Lynch. And actually, John Party shows up on the EP on Getting Over Him.
We were down kissing heartbreak, fixing no strings Saturday night.
So John did he like owe you an appearance on the project?
I think he did because I was on his album. So we're even now. I called him and said, hey, remember when you asked me to be on your album? And I said yes.
Right.
What are you doing?
I also love you on the Hardy song, One Beer. And by the way, it's a great song with Hardy and Devin Dawson, but when your vocals come in and out of the speakers, it's like, whoa, you like bring it to a new level. So congrats on that one.
Thank you. We're very excited about that song. Devin, Hardy, and I have been friends for a really long time, and that song's so fun, and I just got to be a part of it. Yeah. And I just went in there and I was like, you want some ad-lib stuff? Because I'll give you some.
And the whole thing started with some alcohol. All right, hang with us.
Welcome back to Hot 20. We are spending some time today with our buddies Dan and Shay, two-time Grammy winners, Dan and Shay, and they've got a brand new hit on their hands, I Should Probably Go to Bed.
I should probably go to bed. I should probably turn off my phone.
Let's talk about the video, because this is a time in general in the music business when most people are going for leaner productions for many reasons, but especially during a pandemic. You guys are like, oh, no, we're going all the way with this. What was it like shooting the video?
Yeah, our vision for it, we wanted the song or the video to match, you know, the aesthetic of the song. It felt like cinematic and very dramatic and dynamic. So we were like, we got to go big on this one. And I think, you know, after, you know, so many months of, there was like a lot of stuff that just felt like very kind of iPhone like sort of thing and like music videos. And we were like, let's give people a distraction. Let's do something we've never done before. So we went for it. We did stunts, which we signed up for our own stunts and we did our own stunts, but we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. So like for the stuff where we were flying, we were actually doing that. There was a great team on hand that like guided us through the whole thing, but we had these vests that were custom made. I mean, Shay had them like wrapped around his legs. I had bruises on my ribs for weeks from that shot where I was running. And they were just like, all right, run as fast as you can. When you hit this point, it's going to pull you back. And I mean, what you see in the video is like exactly what happened. And it was crazy, but it was fun. Like watching it back on camera, it was like, yeah, let's get another take. We got to get another one, even if I'm putting my life at risk for this.
And talking about those guys, you know, we had this guy who was like training. He was very, very good. He was a professional stuntman. And I think the day before I had known that we were kind of doing these stunts, but I didn't necessarily know like what went into it, because Dan and Pat had put together this treatment and they went over it with me and kind of skimmed over the fact that I'd be flying around in the air. It's like, I think it was the day before that we actually shot the video. We had like a training day. And I remember seeing that in the calendar and it said like, harness fitting. And I was like, excuse me, I just like to talk about maybe what that means.
Oh, that's not.
You're like, oh, don't worry about it. So like I get there like the day before we had training, like before the thing. And I remember like, I mean, this guy has trained for years to do these stunts, you know, and I got up there. I don't know if I was really properly prepared for like what was to come. It was a crash course in being a stuntman, which is probably the wrong term to use, a crash course. It was definitely, I almost crashed several times, but it was like they got up there and our only training was like, I got in the harness and we got up there and they lifted me in the air for like 20 minutes. And they're like, all right, you kind of get it. And I was like, I guess. I mean, not really, but we'll see how this goes.
You guys are like ready for a
so
superhero film now.
It was. We could be in the next Marvel movie.
I think so. We should just superimpose the footage. You know what I mean? Save everybody the time and money. Just drop it right in.
This Wednesday, after a 5-month delay, the 55th annual ACM Awards will finally be handed out. So which stars could be crowned winners at this year's one-of-a-kind broadcasts? Here's a rundown of the top nominees and most anticipated moments.
I know she's got haters, but it ain't her fault. Nah, look what God gave her.
With 5 nods each, Thomas Rhett, Maren Morris, and Old Dominion go into this year's ceremony as the most nominated acts. Thomas and Maren are in the running for the sought-after Album of the Year title, alongside projects from John Party, Luke Combs, and 5-time category winner Miranda Lambert.
And the winner is Keith Urban.
Meanwhile, the entertainer category is one of many things that will look a little different Wednesday, as 4 out of the 5 nominees from 2019 didn't make this year's list, including reigning winner Keith Urban. Instead, those vying for the top title include Luke Bryan, Eric Church, Carrie Underwood, and first-time entertainer nominees Thomas Rhett and Luke Combs. A handful of acts earned 4 nominations, including Blake Shelton, Dan and Shay, and Justin Bieber, who scored his first ever ACM recognition thanks to the smash hit 10,000 Hours.
Let's spend 10,000 hours and 10,000 more.
But Bieber isn't the only newcomer. From the Highwaymen to Hardy, this year's nominee list features 25 artists and industry creators who received their first ever ACM nods, including Riley Green and Tenille Townes, who have already been named ACM New Male and Female Artists of the Year. In lieu of a packed Vegas arena, the ACMs will take place in Nashville this year for the first time ever, broadcasting from 3 iconic venues: the Grand Ole Opry House, Ryman Auditorium, and the Bluebird Cafe.
If I'm stuck on you, you're stuck on me.
A number of A-listers are set to perform, including Old Dominion, Miranda Lambert, Eric Church, Luke Combs, Kane Brown, Tim McGraw, and many more. Don't miss all the ACM action this Wednesday, September 16th on CBS.
Welcome back to Hot 20. I am here with award-winning artist, that's right, award-winning artist, Tenille Townes. Tenille, we have so much to talk about, but just to start, I mean, you have already won an award before the award show. That's incredible. New Female Artist of the Year. Congratulations. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
Thank you. I'm just floating. I mean, I can't even still believe that it's real life. Like hearing you say that out loud is like, oh my goodness, that's so crazy.
Even cooler than that, Tenille, is maybe the way that you found out that you won this award. Let's go ahead and roll that video because that is, it was amazing.
Boom.
Hi.
Hi, Tenille.
How are you?
How you doing? I'm really good. How you doing?
I'm really good. You. Wow.
How you feeling right now? You feel good?
Oh yeah, I feel really good right now.
Well, you're about to feel a whole lot better. Congratulations. You are the ACM New Female Artist of the Year, Tenille Townes.
Here it is.
Now, Tenille, take us back to that moment when you saw Keith Urban pop up on the screen. What were you thinking?
Okay, so first of all, I was told that I was doing a Zoom call interview. And so I was just ready to, just like I get to talk to you today. It's like, I was, okay, cool. So I had my laptop ready and then on the screen pops Keith Urban and I was so startled. Also, he said boom, which sounds a lot kind of like boo, and I already scare easy, so my adrenaline was just like going. My hands started shaking. I was like, what is Keith Urban calling? I'll never forget that as long as I live. Hearing the news from him was so special.